Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Edie. We're here with She Is Glamorous. We're going to be talking about today an evening look. So focusing really on contour, highlight, and eyes. So I've got some awesome new products from Younique to show you that I've never used before. So this is going to be a first time for me as well. I have gone ahead and laid down my foundation and a little bit of cream highlight. I'm going to be doing a little bit more with cream highlight and contour with a new double-ended contour and highlight stick from Younique. But I just wanted to show you that the foundation that I use is Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. This is in the color Light Neutral 47. So Light Neutral 47. I use the Kat Von D number 10 contour foundation brush to apply it. And then my base highlight and concealer is the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. It is a full coverage, super full coverage, and this is in the color Swan. So now what I'm gonna do is just jump right in. This is the Younique Duet contour and highlight stick in the color Light. The white cap gives you a great cream highlight, and the dark cap gives you a beautiful cream contour. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cream contour, and then I will blend that out and then add a little bit more to my highlighted areas. So with this cream contour, I usually just try to look right on into a light, and you can see right here, there's a bit of a shadow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow that shadow right on the top of it to bring the contour up a little bit higher on my cheekbone, right? Because the point of contour is to sculpt that cheekbone and lift. So one of the faux pas that I used to always make with contours, I would put it way down here, thinking I want to fill in where the shadow is. Instead, I want to bring that shadow up a little bit higher to make my cheekbones look even higher. So what we're gonna do is take the contour and run it right underneath my cheekbone. And I know that that looks a little crazy right now, but don't worry, we're gonna blend that out. And then the same thing on the other side, just feel that cheekbone with the tip of the contour and contour it down. Now I'm gonna go ahead and contour my forehead, the dark areas here, just a little bit on the sides, right around the hairline, down the sides of my nose. So again, here I wanna make my nose look more narrow. So I'm gonna bring the contour up higher on the bridge of my nose than probably where the natural line of my nose is, because I want to make my nose look more narrow. So I want that natural line of shadow to fall a little further up on the bridge of my nose. Take it across the bottom of my nose, and don't forget your nostrils. You want to contour right in there to give yourself that great little button nose. I'm going to take a little bit under my lip. And what that's gonna do is just to help project out my chin. And then here comes the fun part. My nose is running, excuse me, y'all. Here comes the fun part. We're gonna contour our jawline. So I'm gonna take it right below the bone line on my neck, on my chin, and right along on my jaw. So again, the key here is that we don't want to take it up too high again, because now the point is that we want to cut that jawline and make it look like it slopes down a little further, right? So this is very creamy. It blends out beautifully. I'm a big fan. Let me grab my contour blending sponge. I have a separate blending sponge for contour than I do for highlight. And you just start with that very easy, that pounce blending. And see, as we blend out that contour, we're taking that color down into the shadow area, but then also making it look like our cheekbones are higher than they actually are, which is really nice. So blend it out nicely. And you may have to work it a while to make sure that you blend it entirely into the skin so that it doesn't, the original contour mark where you applied it is completely blended in. And that's okay. Just keep blending, and then I'm gonna take it and blend it up through the temple, the side of my forehead, and right along into that hairline. Now the nose can be another one of those places where it's a little bit difficult to do the blending. So what I do is I actually squeeze my blending sponge just a little bit, and I take it and you just lightly bounce on the lower part of that contour to blend out that line. We don't want any harsh lines. Never, ever, ever any harsh lines. But at the same time, we don't want to blend on the bridge of my nose. I don't want to blend it so much that I lose the definition of that light and dark. So I want to make sure that I blend it nice and low all the way down into the nostril. And if you find that you're starting to lose a little bit of the definition with your contour or your highlight, remember, don't worry. We're going to come back in with a contour powder to intensify that contour after we set the makeup, right? And then finally we would blend down along that chin line. I take it and just blend with the blunt end of the blending sponge, blend all of that right down. And this will be the only time that you'll ever see me pulling with a beauty blender. But I definitely want to blend that right down. And then take the long side of the blending sponge and blend out that line. This is where we want a nice, soft line. Nothing harsh. Nice, easy, soft line. And what that does, you can tell, it's a little dark under there, but when you look down straight at the face, it gives you just a more defined jawline. And then make sure that you're blending everything down into the neck and the décolletage. And finally, the place that I'm gonna hit with my beauty blender last is right up under my lip. So you just pull that lip under. And give yourself just a little bit of definition under that chin. That's beautiful. I'm gonna go back and hit all the places on the other side of my face that I didn't blend yet. And again, if the line on your nose contour is a little wonky, if you lose a little bit of that definition, not to worry, because we are gonna go back and hit it with a highlight. And a little bit of blending can even that out. See, right there on my nose? Great even little nose contour. So I'm just gonna blend out these other sides. And my cheek contour right here. Make sure that you're blending up into the hairline. You want all of this darkness, this shadow to disappear right into your hairline. Now I have bangs, so I don't stress out about my forehead contour as much because 98% of the time it's gonna be covered by my hair. And that's just what it is. So don't stress yourself out. Remember that this is your makeup. It's gonna look good no matter what you do. If you're happy with the results, it looks beautiful. So don't freak out about little things. There are gonna be days where your makeup is better than others, and that's great. On the days where it's not your best, who cares? You tried something new. You gave it a go, and that's what it's all about, right? Beautiful. So now let's hit the highlight. Where did I put my stick? So we've got our unique duet stick. There's our highlight color, and I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna touch it to the places. I've never used this before, so I'm gonna use just a little bit of product and see how it blends out. Chin, jawline, nose, bridge of my nose, right here on my forehead, doing like a little sunburst pattern, underneath my eyes, onto my cheeks, my upper lid, so the high points of my face. And then I take another blending sponge. I use a different sponge for my highlight than I do my contour, and we're just gonna blend it all out. Oh, this blends beautifully. Take it right up onto your nose. Remember, we wanna make the nose look more narrow. And as we take that lighter color, right up on the side of the nose, it's gonna make our nose look flatter and more narrow, which is exactly what we want. So just make sure that you're getting rid of any harsh lines, any dots from application. Make sure you're getting into the corner of your eyes to get rid of any creases that may have formed. Forehead. Take that nose, look at how soft I do with the blending, just to make sure that I don't over blend. I want that contrast. And then I can take my contour blending sponge and add a little bit of that contour back in. It's just a delicate balance on the nose to make it look as natural as possible. So we don't want to overblend, we don't want to underblend. And then finally, just right here along the bottom of the cheekbone to add a little bit of definition. I over blended on my nose just a little bit on this side, so I'm gonna go back in with my contour stick, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of contour right here, just to add some of that definition back in. Take my blending sponge, and just blend that very gently. Very, very gently. Just take that contour right down the side of the nose, which I think is gorgeous. I'm gonna hit it with my highlight sponge just to even out that line. Now look all over, make sure everything looks nice and even. I've got hair stuck everywhere. Beautiful. I'm just gonna hit my contour spots one more time just to make sure that they're blended in really nicely. Press that product into the skin. And we're done with our contour. I used the Splurge Cream Shadow And this is in the color Unfazed as an eyeshadow primer. So I put that all over my lid. And what we're gonna do is we're going to take the brand new Touch Behold translucent powder from Unique. Right here, we just got this. This is a great translucent powder. I really like it too because it's got a great applicator. I don't really know if you can see it, with the little netting over the product, so you can make sure that you don't get too much product. Take just a really gentle, light, easy setting brush. This one is from Real Techniques. It's my boo-boo. It's actually a blush brush, but I use it to set with, and just press into the product. Really easy. This is quite a bit of product that we have here, and then I take the lid, swirl it around in the lid, knock off the excess, and then we can go ahead and just hit those highlight spots to set them down. Don't forget your eyelids. One more easy little press into the powder. Swirl it around in that lid. And now we'll just hit all of the other spots on the face. So all of our contour, don't forget your neck, take it down. We put a little bit of foundation on the ears, so don't forget to set those ears. And our face is set. So now what we want to do with the foundation that it's set, we want to take our highlight blending sponge. So this is my Real Techniques beauty blending sponge, magical complexion sponge, which I really like. And we're really going to press down with that sponge into that powder to get a huge amount of powder, very generous amount of powder. And then we're going to take that right under the eyes to protect from fallout with our eyeshadow. And then we're going to take some more of that powder and hit our highlight spot. So right down the bridge of the nose, in the center of the forehead, chin, upper lip, center of face, and right along that jawline. So we're gonna let that bake everywhere except for under the eyes. We're gonna let it sit for just 2 minutes, and then we'll dust away the excess powder. But until then, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my eyes, which is really exciting. Today I'm doing the Moonstruck Addiction number 3 palette from Unique. It's gorgeous. If you can see these colors, lots of pinks, lots of mauve, lots of beautiful shimmer colors. There's also a really nice black color called Irate. I won't use that today necessarily, but we'll get in there for a little bit of dimension. You just take your basic blending shadow brush. I've got my favorite here from Ulta. I'm gonna go in with the lightest color, which is Determined. So it's like a light gray, and I'm gonna use that as my base color right here along the entire eyelid. So I just start on the outer corner and take it right in around. It's got a rosy undertone to this entire palette, has a rosy undertone, so all of the shadow is going to look a little pink, which I like for an evening look. So we're just gonna take that and really work that shadow into the crease and above, and then all along the eyelid. We just want like a nice foundation with our eyeshadow on which to build color and dimension. Okay, and then I'm going one shade darker to Tickled, which is this beautiful, like lovely little rosy mauve color, which I think is really pretty. Load that brush up, tap off the excess, and then we're just gonna take that as our transition color right into the crease. It's gonna deepen that pink. And really make sure that you're blending it out. Don't take the brush up too high, but as long as you work the color, you're gonna get a really nice even blend. So you can see the difference with the mauvey pink with just the base transition, with just the base color. So this is our transition color, this is our base color. Same thing on the other side. Starting from the outer corner, point of intensity of the color is where you place the brush the first time. Just really work that color. Remember, don't overblend. You want to be able to see the different colors, but you don't want any spot where you can tell where they start or stop, right? You want all of the colors to blend in beautifully. Now I'm going to take my little pointed blending brush from Sigma. This is the E45 small tapered blending brush from Sigma. We're gonna take that with just a little bit of the darker, the black color, Irate, and we're going to put it right into the crease and really blend it out. Now this black shadow is not going to look black, hopefully, that's the goal, is not going to look black once we're done. It's just going to add a little bit of shadow. So when you put it on and it looks super black, don't freak out. Oh, this blends beautifully. That's one thing I have to give to Unique for their eyeshadows, is my experience so far with their eyeshadows is that they blend. They are just soft and easy to blend. They create gorgeous gradation of color. They blend together really beautifully. And I'm a big fan of only using one palette to do my eyes. I don't want to go through 6 different palettes or 5 different single eyeshadows to get the effect that I want, the color that I want, the depth that I want. I just want one palette. And that's one thing that I've discovered from all of these Unique palettes that I've been using, is that they are so easy to create a cohesive eye look with just one palette. So look at the difference. It doesn't look black. It just looks like a shadow, which is exactly what we want. So take a little bit more of that black color, that Irate, starting over here, point of intensity, and just sweep it up through the crease. So you see how the black shadow just came through and created what looks like just a little bit of depth. It added a little bit of drama, a little bit of intensity into that crease, but the eye is still very pink. Like, we're not going for a gray or a cool toned eye today. We're going for a very warm, rosy tone. I'm just continuing to blend out the shadow, because in my opinion, you can never spend too much time on blending. I mean, until you blend everything out, it becomes a muddled mess. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my flat shader brush. This is from Morphe. It's that handy dandy trusty shader brush that I love. A little bit of Fix Plus from MAC. This one is the one that smells like coconut. It makes me really happy. And I'm just gonna spritz my brush. I'm gonna open my product and just spritz my brush so that it's just a little damp, right? We just need it a little damp. And then we're gonna take, we've got 3 shimmer shades. We can do Ecstatic, Cheeky, or Smitten. Ecstatic is like a champagne-y shimmer. Smitten's gonna be more like a silver color, and Cheeky is gonna give us a rosy purple color. I think I'm gonna go with Cheeky and probably layer a little bit of the champagne color Ecstatic over the top. So I've taken that. This is gonna give me a lot of intensity of color. And then what I found with shimmer shadows to protect from fallout, you're not applying here, we're not sweeping down, we want it to go up, so I'm gonna come from the top. Start in the center of the eyelid and just start to blend a little bit. This is just gonna give us a nice base of shimmer and light. Now my eye is super hooded, so if you'll watch with me when I open my eye, almost all of that shimmer color disappears. So what I do is I concentrate the color, concentrate the shadow to the center of the eye and along the lash line. So a little bit more on the brush, and we're gonna do the other side. So take it from the inner corner, starting in the center of the lid, blend the shadow from the inner corner all the way to the outer corner along the lash line, just to give us that beautiful smoky eye. Okay, so we've got a little bit of that shimmer on there. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna take one of my blending brushes. My nose is running today, y'all. My allergies are crazy. So we're gonna take a blending brush that's relatively clean. The last shadow I used on this was a little pinky one. This is another Real Techniques brush. This is a 203 blending shadow brush. Perfect. And I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna blend out some of that darker color that I put on the eyelid and start to blend into the shimmer color in my crease. I just want everything to be soft. I want it all to blend out beautifully. And then what we're gonna do, taking that same flat shading brush, we've got a little bit of that darker color, that cheeky on there, so I'm just gonna wipe that off on the towel that I've got right down here. And I'm gonna go in with Ecstatic, which is our champagne color. And I'm just gonna hit the tops of my eyelids, the center of the eyelid, just to add a little bit of that champagne-y silver highlight to it. Okay. So this I'm really happy with the little smoky eye. I hope you can see it. Pink grading down to like that shimmery, pretty, silvery champagne color that we've got. So what I'm gonna do right now is take my same setting brush and we're gonna dust away all of the under eye. I'm hoping that this under eye powder caught fallout because there was quite a bit of fallout with me today. And you just sweep it away. Oh yeah, and it's gone. That's why we put some extra powder there under the eyes. And then just dust away all of our baking powder. And if you get a little bit of fallout or a little bit of color on your cheek, it's okay. We're gonna cover it up with bronzer, with blush. You can also hit it with just a little bit of powder foundation if you wanna cover it up. I'm not worried about it today. So then we're gonna take our tapered shadow brush, our E45 from Sigma, and we're gonna take the two colors that we used, Determined, which is our transition color, our base color, and Tickled, our smitten color, Tickled, our transition color. So Determined, the base color, and Tickled, the transition color, and we're just gonna mix them together. And what I do is I touch one, I touch the other, and I go back to one, right? So they're mixed together to get that under eye, that same great gradation. And then we're gonna take a little bit of the darker black color that I rate, and we'll go in and fill in right along the lash line. So base, transition, base. Tap off the excess, go right under the eye. That just takes that whole color story that you've built up around your eyelid and builds it underneath the eye, gives you a cohesive look. Okay, so now without even cleaning off the brush, we're just gonna touch Irate and take it right along the lash line. Very, very, very close to the lash line, and then sweep it up into the crease. So we want this to be an easy blend, very cohesive. Same thing again, just touch it and sweep it right along that lower lash line. And then up into the crease. It creates a C shape around your eye, which really creates some definition and shape, which I think is really pretty. And it looks a little nuts right now because we don't have any eyeliner on, we don't have any mascara on. But what we are gonna do is now take our flat shader brush. I'm gonna go in with Smitten, which is our lightest shimmer color in the palette. We haven't used it yet. Take a little bit of Smitten on there, and we're gonna use it as our highlight color. So I'm gonna hit it right on the inner corner, and then sweep it down and up. So we wanna highlight with this beautiful silvery color. It adds a cool dimension to the color story that we're building here in our eyes. And we already know that all of the colors in the palette go together. So why not use them? Because we know they're gonna go. So hit that corner of your eye, sweep it down, and then sweep it up, just a little bit. It's just a highlight. It's just gonna give you a little bit of a brightening effect. Now, if you don't like the cool tone of this shadow, don't use it. Use a warm toned highlighter, which we've got one to show you just a little bit later. So if you look at that, that's my completed eye. It's blended well. I like the color. I'm happy with everything. So now all we have to do is hit it with just a little bit of eyeliner, and I will show you that in just a moment. We'll be back.